Speaking at Turning Point USA at an event over the weekend, Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard claimed that there is a war with the deep state going on.
You think the campaign was hard, you think what President Trump went through was hard, and it was. The road ahead will not be easy. I can attest personally that in my work as the Director of National Intelligence, the deep state is fighting us every step of the way. And it exists within every single federal agency. And so I feel the same frustration that I see many of you expressing on X or in different platforms about why aren't things going faster? Why aren't we getting results more quickly? I feel this frustration every single day. We are pushing hard. Know that they are pushing hard back.
Elizabeth, pretty interesting insight there from Tulsi Gabbard, suggesting that there is still this fight going on with the deep state. What did you make of what she had to say?
You know, I completely agree. There is a fight, and it's a fight that's going to continue to go on because those that have built and upheld Washington, D.C. for all it is, the good and the bad, those are people that are still in there, right? And they're people that are very hard to get rid of when they've been around for such a long time. The fact is, I remember when Elon Musk had announced that he was going into the administration and people asked me what I thought. And I said, I think he's going to be very disappointed. I think it's going to end badly, purely actually because so many people go in thinking they're going to be able to make this giant difference and don't actually realize what it looks like when you work for the federal government. They don't know what it looks like when you're up against so many people and so many institutions that have been in place long before you were born and that are basically meant to work against people like him and people like Tulsi, people that want to go in and do things differently, not by the books, not by the system, and make some kind of real change and make that change fast. So I think what you said makes perfect sense. It's what we kind of expected from an administration filled with people like Kash Patel, like Tulsi Gabbard, like Dan Bongino. So it makes sense. And honestly, I'm happy that despite being in there, she's still able to go out, tell the truth and tell that to the people because people are curious about what she's doing. They're curious about what goes on in there, and they're curious if the people that they have faith in are going to kind of turn into that deep state or stay on their side and stay on the outside despite being in the government. So it's actually refreshing to see her talk that way.
Former President Joe Biden has defended his use of the autopen in an interview with the New York Times. We know that he granted clemency and pardoned more than 1,500 individuals in what the White House described at the time as the largest single-day act of clemency by a US president. Biden insists that he made every decision on his own, yet we know that he did not personally sign many of these documents. His White House staff used an autopen to do so. This is what Donald Trump had to say today.
I mean, you're talking about the autopen. Look, the autopen, I think, is maybe one of the biggest scandals that we've had in 50 to 100 years. This is a tremendous scandal. And I know the people on the other side of the, see that desk, that Resolute desk? Unfortunately, he used it before me. But, you know, we have our choice of 7 desks. They're all beautiful, but I chose the Resolute, and so did he, unfortunately. But the people on the other side of the Resolute desk, I know them. Lisa, the whole group, and they're no good. They're sick people. And I guarantee he knew nothing about what he was signing. I guarantee it.
This interview just raises more questions over those pardons, including Fauci's. His was signed with an autopen.
I mean, look, it's the kind of thing that nightmares are made of. If you had said this was going on during his administration, we would have been told that we were lying and making things up like we were told anytime anyone on the Republican side tried to bring attention to Joe Biden and his obvious decline. And now that it's happening, now that there's proof that this happened, people just kind of want us to forget about it. The fact is, this is a huge scandal. I can only imagine how it would be reported on if it was Donald Trump who was using autopens left and right. For big decisions like this, possibly done without his knowledge. It's sad, it's disgraceful to happen in the United States of America. And it's more disgraceful that people are politicizing it and not reporting on it the way they should be because they are against the fact that Donald Trump is the one bringing it to light and Donald Trump won the 2024 election. That's the fact of the matter. And I think any real journalist prior to 2016 would have had no problem covering a story like this, whether it was a Republican or a Democrat. And it's sad that the country has changed so much that we don't have those standards anymore. But the fact is, any American left, right, pro-Trump, pro-Biden, in between, doesn't matter, would have a problem with this and should have a problem with this.
Finally, we have to talk about Michelle Obama, because Michelle Obama and actress Julia Louis-Dreyfus, both multi-millionaires, have taken to the airwaves to complain about how difficult life is for American women. Listen to this.
Women, we have so many landmines and barriers and don'ts and limitations. It's, you know, I mean, Craig, you're the guy at the table, but I think it's important for all guys listening, especially men raising daughters, to realize that difference, you know, and that thing that inadvertently, as you are loving and raising these beautiful girls, there are so many rules that make us small,
baked in without our knowing it. You know, and I wish I could. I mean, I remember people saying, "Oh, well, she's a female doctor," as opposed to just she's a doctor.
Former First Lady has previously complained about how expensive it was to live in the White House. I mean, it's a bit painful to listen to this.
It's more than painful, honestly. It's disgraceful. It's sad. It's almost ironic, right? Because this is the person that we as women should be hearing from, who is out there telling us that you can actually do whatever you want. As a woman, look at me, look where I came from, look where I ended up, and look what I have now. She's the person that can prove that everything that she's saying is something that can be beaten, something that you can rise above. The fact is, of course, women and men are different, and women are treated a certain way in society, and there's people out there that'll treat you horribly no matter what. But the fact is, someone like Michelle Obama is proof that it doesn't matter where you come from or how people treat you, you can become one of the most powerful people in the world. The fact is, this is kind of a new thing in America. It's the oppression Olympics, and apparently even former first ladies are willing to compete in it. It's sad and it's pathetic, and I can't understand why she's doing it, but I know that she is desperate for views and attention and some kind of relevancy again. So that is my only guess, truly, for why someone as educated as Michelle Obama would even bother saying that.
Elizabeth Pipko, former RNC spokeswoman, thank you so much for joining us on Power Hour. Great to speak to you again.
You too. Talk soon.